You are looking live. Welcome back to the Colin Thompson Show. That's Jack Connell. I'm Colin Thompson. We are back. We started recording not too long ago, say 45 minutes ago, and I have been in a full boxing match with my Wi-Fi since that moment. So we are back. We are better than ever, and the Wi-Fi is working at 6 o'clock Monday, November 14th. Huge episode today. Jeff Van Gundy joined us. So excited for Jeff Van Gundy. Jack, you enjoyed this interview.
Yeah, it was a blast. Just all of the stories that Jeff had and all his incredible insight talking about Victor Wembanyama, his experiences with Kobe Bryant, Daryl Morey when they were both together in Houston. It was really just a great listen. Probably one of my favorites so far.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm excited for you guys to listen to it. For those that don't know, listen to the podcast. I did it a few weeks ago. I usually try to work 2, 3, 4 weeks out. That allows me in season just to do when I have some time, do a longer form stuff, and when later in the week and when my work's done, I could take some time and do an interview. But earlier in the week, now I don't have as much time prepping for the next week. So what I'll do is I'll do 20, 30-minute kind of pre-show, and then we kick it into the interview. So if you don't want to listen to my pre-show, you can skip right through this and go right to the interview with Jeff. I don't know how long it's going to be here today, maybe 20, 30 minutes, maybe a little bit less from us here at the Colin Thompson Show, brought to you by Not For Long Media. Guys, we just started the Sam Boner Show, which I'm really excited about with Mick McKenzie and the Sam Boners. They have a huge following on Instagram. They eat food. They rate food, cheesesteaks, hoagies. They rate beers. It's a fun spin on a Philly version of really just rating food and getting out there and having a good time and having big energy. And they join forces with us here at Not For Long Media. We're having a podcast together, so we expect big guests to come on the show when it comes to the food world, sports, athletics. What else? We got just big personalities that are part of the kind of Sam Boner OGs. We're going to have just kind of fun caller episodes where people just coming in, talking different questions. So really excited about the Sam Boner Show. Ian Thomas, tight end with the Carolina Panthers, joined another podcast of ours here at Not For Long Media called Two Girls, One League. It's an all-girls show talking football, and they do a really good job, really, really good job at it. Awesome hosts, and they have great guests, and Ian joined them for some fun content. We started releasing some of that on Not For Long Media and the Two Girls, One League Twitter. Jack and the team took great care of that per usual. What else? We got geez, Harry, Jason Martinez, who just do a freaking killer job, and a big show that we were able to inherit here at Not For Long. Two huge Philly sports talk radio guys. They're, it's kind of like my dad and his buddies at a bar, just BSing, kind of talking smack, making fun of some people that deserve it here and there, and just have a light, loose, and fun show, kind of like their show together when they were at 97.5 The Fanatic through my college days. A really good show that I enjoy. And then finally, guys, but last but certainly not least, is our friends over at Breaking Bats, Justin Ayers, and then Brian O'Grady, who plays pro baseball. If you want baseball talk, guys, doesn't get too much better than Justin and Brian. They have great guests on right now. They're talking free agency, where players should land, what managers should go to these different teams. A lot of moving pieces in the MLB in the offseason, as really the NBA, as we're going to get into with Jeff, has kind of driven this movement in sports. You're seeing NFL teams trading 50 picks for players now, it seems like, and really valuing the player over the pick, where it used to be, hey, football, you have X amount of assets. Here's your salary cap. Here's your picks. Maybe make a trade or two to help you when you need it. But now you got big pieces traded like a Tyreek Hill. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey got traded from us, right? There's a lot more movement. I think it started in the NBA, the player movement. And there's a lot of people and players to be responsible for it. It's really helped other sports. It's helped players selfishly in other sports, kind of fight for their own rights, fight for what they want. We're going to get into that too here down the line with the union. And really the NFL and the grass situation that kind of is going on between the players, the NFL PA, and the NFL and the owners. It's going to be very interesting to see how this pans out. But before I do, we got to talk a little bit about the NBA, Jack. Like, I don't talk a lot of NBA on here. I appreciate the game. I enjoy big playoff games. I don't enjoy regular season big games that mean nothing. I just don't. I just can't. And I don't like to I have to admit it. I just don't. So we had Jeff on, who's great. I love old NBA, kind of like everybody else. I do appreciate the players in the NBA today. I do appreciate the coach of the NBA today. I do like that stuff. I just think the season's long for me. And I just and not that into it, Jack. So I digress. Jackie, what's going on around the NBA? If you had to paint it from a broad brush, maybe from a Philly Sixers fan perspective.
So, I mean, it's definitely been interesting. The Boston Celtics have looked like by far the best team in the NBA. Jason Tatum's an early MVP front runner of how he's playing. He just looks so complete on both ends of the court. He really just looks locked in, which is incredible for that team. And really incredible by him going through pretty much his third coach in 3 seasons at this point, which is how everything has gone down in Boston. So him and Jaylen Brown, Robert Williams will all look tremendous. Lakers are struggling heavily, one of the worst records in the NBA right now. LeBron James is just getting too old to carry this team. Russell Westbrook, he looked better moving to the bench, but they just don't have anywhere near enough depth. And the worst part of it, they don't have any of their draft picks until like 2027. So things are not looking great out in LA. It's just, I mean, it's pretty much the main two. The Sixers are finally back at 500. Joel Embiid had the game of the season, 59 points. 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 8 blocks or 7 blocks. It was an unreal game. I was unfortunately not able to catch most of it. I only caught the last couple minutes when I got the Twitter notifications that he was breaking 50. So at that point, I had to tune in, and it was easily the best game of his career. He could not miss. It was tremendous showing by him.
Great stuff by Jack in the back, talking Sixers, talking NBA per usual, bringing us to light of kind of what's going on in the world there. Yeah, I think Jeff was awesome. We're going to send it over to Jeff at the end of kind of my banter here and kind of what we do here for those just joining the show for the first time. But again, Not For Long Media family, guys, check out all our podcasts. You can find us all on any platform, YouTube, our website. You can buy our apparel on there. There's a lot going on here and Not For Long Media. Okay, Jack, there's a few things that have been going on in the world today. I'm just going to skip ahead. I think I have to get into kind of the matchup segment here, brought to you by Wealth Advisory Services, wealthadvisoryservices.com. If you don't know them, you should. The union, the NFL players, and the NFL, a conversation's starting to happen. Really, you should get Wealth Advisory Services involved in it because they are doing an awesome job at making decisions, giving advice, supporting maybe what you're passionate for, and then helping give you the right information that you need to make the right decisions with your money, whether you're looking for a longer-term investment, shorter-term investment, you're looking for 401k stuff, you're a business starting and you want to get, attached to a financial advising company. Wealth Advisory Services does an awesome job with that. They're just good people. Like I said, I grew up in Doylestown. I got to know Paul very well. I got to know Dave very well, and they're in Doylestown, right across the street from the courthouse, and then they're right in downtown Cape May as well, so they can meet with you anywhere in that area. If you just want to talk through things, a few of my buddies in the league, I'm now working with them, and they really enjoy it because it's just a one-stop shop, quick text, a quick call, good conversation. Here's what I want to do long-term. Here's what I want to do short-term. I want to buy a house. I want to buy a boat. I want to buy this. I want to buy that. Here's what they think. So to me, they're an unbelievable sounding board. And I really, truly think that the NFL, the NFLPA, and the NFL players should use Wealth Advisory Services, Paul, Dave, and their team. 100 years of experience. Check them out, guys. wealthadvisoryservices.com. So like I've said before, guys, there's some sort of discussion starting about grass fields, turf fields, and, kind of what's going on with that. And some people may not understand, but ESPN kind of came out with an article the other day about how there's equal amount of injury risk on grass and turf. And I'm not going to sit here today, guys, and really talk about the medical side of it. I'm going to tell you about how I feel, about how my teammates feel, about how players I played with felt over the years. I'm going to take you through all my journey of football and how it's led to things over the years and injuries. That's who I'm going to speak on. I'm not going to sit here and quote science and facts because I think anybody can twist the science and facts into their own thing. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. It really is. I'll start with this, the simple side of it. Is turf or grass healthy for you as an athlete? First, I'll say this. I get why owners, teams, high school fields all use turf. You can use the playing surface as much as you want. It is weather. There is unbelievable sides of it when it comes to the business side of it, how you can reuse it, repurpose it. Teams can practice on it at night. There could be a game there the next day. There is a lot going on when it comes to sporting worlds and high schools and pro sports, and the turf field makes sense. I get all that. Okay. Grass field, a lot more maintenance. There's things to do with it. You're banking on good weather, all that. But we're going to just kind of shift it now to the football world, especially Division I college football and pro football. So there's a lot here, Jack. I'm sorry. I keep saying that because it's a complicated issue. Essentially what happened was there was a push for us to get out and tweet and share our thoughts about what's going on. And I didn't feel comfortable tweeting it because I feel like I could talk about it on my own show. That's the beauty about having my own show. Here's my thoughts. When I was in college at the University of Florida, we practiced on grass. We played on grass. It was fantastic. Players still tore their ACLs. Players still got hurt. I broke my foot. People still got hurt on that grass. But when you would go play somewhere on turf, that next day, you would wake up really sore through your ankles, through your calves, through your knees, through your quads, really sore, really beat up. When you would fall on the turf, elbows ripped up. I've had staph infections on both elbows when I was in high school because of turf fields and turf beads getting in there. I've had numerous turf burns. I've had bruises from landing on turf that's really thin. So turf has really beat me up. I've had concussion or two back in the day from slamming my head back on turf. I'm not saying I hadn't had any of that on grass before, but you wake up feeling a lot different on grass. You wake up, you play different on grass. I truly firmly believe that deep down inside as a player, you have the feeling of I'm on turf right now. I can't lay out. I can't do the same thing. And I think a lot of players say, no, you're crazy. I still feel the same way. And I do too, but I still think there's like 0.00001% of us that know we're playing on turf right now. And I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I can run routes a little bit differently. I don't have to plant angle around and play with good firm feet into the ground like you would on grass or you would slide out. I don't have to, really play in balance because I'm on turf. I could take a shot at a guy a little bit more. I could be more aggressive. On grass, you land softer and you have to be under your feet a little bit. The game's faster on turf. I firmly believe that than it is on grass. So the bottom line is I'm saying this as I go through college and I go through pros, the next level is pros, right? Because I'm playing now, it's my 6-year professional football. I played AAF. I played XFL. I've played, Chicago Bears, New York Giants here, right? People that follow the show know the story, and I'm rambling on this, but it's a big topic because there's a lot to it. And I'm not just giving you science. I'm just giving you how I feel. When you play on grass and you practice on grass and then you play on grass, you feel fantastic the next day in comparison to how you feel on turf. And that's just the bottom line. There's a lot going on today between the union, between the players, between the owners, and there's a lot of chatter behind it. The bottom line is this: you just don't feel the same. I don't know if the facts, but I know people that I really trust in this business, strength coaches, sports science, medical people will tell you grass is better than turf. It's the bottom line. What are we putting first, right? That's the question. Where are you in the priority list? I understand the business side of turf 100%, but I also know this. The players that drive a lot of the business, the turf is fantastic. We look at the beginning of the year of how many grass fields we're going to play on. And every year we play on less grass fields. I think we play on maybe 3 grass fields all year this year. I think we played on 2 last year. So the difference on how it makes your body feels, the scrapes, the cuts, the burns, the bruises, all those things, I think affect soft tissue injuries. You're doing more body maintenance, more body work because your calves got beat up, your quads got beat up, contusion here because you fell on the turf a certain way. And then that leads to other things down the line. So the reason why I didn't go out and tweet something that I want to, hey, pull up turf, lay down the grass is because I can talk about it on the show. And I just think the best way to articulate it is you just don't feel the same the next day. You feel like crap. You already feel like crap from playing football already, but the next day you feel even worse. So, for me, I'm obviously going to be pro grass. The owners have laid grass down on turf before. And I think there could be something where you're laying turf down on a field for, maybe the second half of the season. So you can play on grass the second half of the season. The first half, say you have concerts and there's an MLS game and there's all these things going on. There's college football early in the season at big stadiums, NFL stadiums. I get that. But just lay the grass down. Lay the grass down. And I think that would be kind of a cool way to do it. It's expensive. I get it. But I really, truly think that if the union, the players, and the owners all work together, how are we trying to make this game last longer? How are we trying to let the players' careers last longer? How are we trying to make players happy? I think grass would be the best way. Jack, you played a lot of football in your life. You played a lot of sports in your life. You work at Penn State Abington in the athletic kind of department situation there. Thoughts on this?
So I'm very torn because I never really had the privilege of playing on a good grass field. All of the schools around here, like you said, a lot of high schools, they do all turf fields. So I grew up, my high school had it was probably about a couple years old at that point. Several of our other high schools around us had brand new turf fields. They were fun to play on. They were nice. But then, because our experience of grass fields were one, our practice field, which was just dried up dirt, or like you go to a school, Cheltenham, who had a one hill upway, no drainage grass field. And so our experience of grass fields were not good. And then now in college, we have very, very bad turf fields. Now, I mean, it's definitely a struggle. I definitely think grass fields, if they're to the finances the NFL can afford, would be very beneficial, a lot more give. But I've only really had experience of turf fields, and I can imagine the injuries and things that can come with it without a doubt.
Yeah, I think it's you see an article like, hey, it's the same amount of injuries that are big time injuries. Well, what's a big time injury? Torn ACLs, broken feet, whatever that may be. Like they happen the same. But I truly believe like sprained ankles, calf injuries, contusions, all that stuff, the turf does not give the same as grass. So again, I'm not sitting here giving medical information and advice and all these different things. There's a disclaimer on this episode. You got to say that stuff in 2022. But I'm just giving you how I feel, and you just don't feel the same the next day. It's like saying I'm going to go run down the street, or I'm going to go run on a track at a stadium. That's how it goes. That's how it shakes out. So, guys, there's a big Bus One member this week. Everybody in matchups, by the way, our big matchup this week is really the NFL, the NFLPA, and the NFL players and the grass. I peeked at some games this week, though, Jack, and we're going to finish with the matchups. I like Titans-Packers Thursday Night Football. It's going to be a great game. Our Thursday Night Football game last week in the rain versus Atlanta was a good game as well. Jets-Patriots is a game I looked at. Vikings-Cowboys. Our game versus Baltimore this week, I do think it's going to be good. It's going to be a fun one. And we're playing on grass in Baltimore, so thank you. The owner of Baltimore keeps his yacht in Annapolis. We walk by it all the time. Great to be back home on the Thursday night bye week, mini bye, with my wife and some friends and just hanging out, and a good little break here. We haven't had our bye week yet, so it's been a good little grind to get here. We got a couple more weeks in the bye, so hopefully finish strong before the bye week. So matchups, they're always brought to you by Wealth Advisory Services. If you're in a matchup, you need advice, go to Wealth Advisory. Okay, guys, Bus One brought to you by the Original Fudge Kitchen. Bus One, Jack, you got to go Jeff Saturday. The bottom line, Jeff Saturday, brought to you by the Original Fudge Kitchen. We're shipping Jeff a box of fudge this week on the Colin Thompson Show. He deserves it. The team deserves it. He got a lot of scrutiny for being hired. And honestly, what I would do if I was him, I'd go to fudgekitchens.com and send his whole team a box of fudge. I don't know about the game ball, Jack. You can just send boxes of fudge instead of game balls. Go to fudgekitchens.com, go on there. 53 players plus the practice squad, 70 some odd players there, staff members 30, 100 boxes of fudge. Jeff and the staff should be buying for the entire organization there. A big win for the Colts. Listen, there's been a lot of scrutiny in Jeff Saturday, and I'm not coming on here and saying Bus One because Jeff Saturday won. I was going to put Jeff Saturday on Bus One no matter what. People are coming at Jeff for taking the job. People are coming at the Colts owner and GM for making the decision. I'm for the decision. Really, truly. Like, you want to talk about someone who knows the culture of winning, who knows the culture of that building, what it looks like to win, who's been around a really great players that have won at a really high level, who's been around a lot of really good GMs, Bill Polian, a lot of really good coaches, Tony Dungy, great offensive coordinators, Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I'm really impressed by it. I think a lot of people don't really know what the head coaching position is all about. Yes, there's some head coaches that call plays. Yes, there's some head coaches that literally burn crazy midnight oil and work all night. But at the end of the day, my opinion, we're the head coach, is to do all the little things it takes to win. Make sure the schedule's right. Make sure the travel's right. Make sure the team meeting is a clear and concise message of how things are going to go to win. Make sure you empower the coordinators, power the position coaches, make sure that the team's kind of intertwining the DNA, for lack of a better term, is out there publicly of what you want it to look like. And then you put the ball down and you go. Now, obviously, it's a tough situation for Jeff. He's coming into the building at a unique time. People saying it's a disrespect to the game. People saying it's on Jeff Saturday. He shouldn't have took the job. Well, I love this press conference. I'm a leader of men. I know how to lead men. I've been in a lot of locker rooms, a lot of successful men, coaches, GMs, players. And I truly firmly believe this. There's different kinds of players in this league. There's guys that are really good players that are here to play the game. There's guys that can do a little bit of both coach, play, kind of have that kind of leadership mentality. And then there's players like Jeff who are on a whole nother level when it comes to knowing the schemes, knowing how to communicate with players. One of the smartest players, really, probably in Colts history. The guy was a genius at center, had Peyton Manning, all the pressure to do what Peyton wanted him to do. They had a ton of success there. Undersized guy, went to UNC, overcome tons of obstacles to do that. How do you do that? As your mind. As a player who's limited myself athletically and size-wise, it's your mind that separates you. So this isn't just a player who punched the clock and went home. This is a guy that's a generational type player, and you have an opportunity to have him come back in your building. And you know what? It's an 8-game tryout for him. And it's an 8-game tryout for the GM and the head coach to look and say, is this the right guy for us moving forward? And, maybe Jeff may not want to do it or may want to do it. I think his press conference was awesome. But I think, why not? Why not? I get it. There's a coach on the staff that could have been empowered to be the head coach there. But they decided to go a different route and mix it up. And, I think it's fun and exciting and adds a spark to the locker room. I think it adds a spark to the fan base. I think it adds a spark kind of to their building. So another long-winded kind of statement from me, but the coaches have some influence on play calling, right? And from a football standpoint, they have some influence. I want to be a running football team, play action football team. I want to spread it out and run a spread offense and run draws and run all that stuff. I want to be a defense that plays man-to-man or cover zero or bring no pressure and be a bend, don't break. They could say that and then hire the right coaches to do those things for them. Or they can just empower them and have them be the head coach of the offense, the head coach of the defense, and the head coach of the tight ends, and the head coach of the D-line. I think that's what great coaches do. So to me, I get it from the outside perspective, but even some people that are really inside football, like Joe Thomas ripped a decision. A lot of people, Bill Cowher ripped a decision. A lot of people ripped it, but I respect Jeff for taking the job. I respect the Colts organization for thinking outside the box. Just quite frankly, I'll speak on it because I can. Coach Wilks has been unbelievable for us here in Carolina. I absolutely love Coach Wilks. He's been great. He's been great to get to know. He's the type of guy that I already knew before. Sometimes with defensive coaches, you don't really know a ton about because they're coaching the defense and you're on offense. But Coach Wilks is a guy that just stops in the hallway, talks to everybody, professional. And then, of course, he got the job when Coach Rule got let go and just couldn't be more excited for him. He's from Carolina, played at App State, and he's a really good guy and a leader of men, point blank, period. So there's different shapes and sizes for interim head coaches, and then they get an opportunity to hopefully interview for the job to get the head coaching job. Coach Wilks and Jeff Saturday in this case. So Bus One member this week, Jeff Saturday, brought to you by Original Fudge Kitchen, fudgekitchens.com. Jeff and the entire Colts organization got a big win and kept fighting through the end. Situational football. What do you think of the situation, Jack? And you can speak freely on it. I don't think you have to agree with me like I pay you to do.
No, I mean, it's definitely interesting. Like I said, out of the box hires. I think the one big one I had always rooted for in the past, mainly in my Eagles fandom before Sirianni kind of took over like he has this season, I was really enamored with Josh McCown. I thought Josh McCown was somebody they were gunning for quarterback coach, offensive coordinator. It seemed like he was the final candidate for the Texans head coaching job before they passed from him. I mean, it could definitely work really well. Like you said, it's a set. I mean, setters command the offensive line. They know the fronts. I mean, like, obviously he's not the play caller, but he'll have some say in the schemes or what they want to adjust from their current playbook. But like you said, at this point, you need somebody who's charismatic, who knows how to control, kind of take lead and right the ship. And what better than a captain, former player of the team? But I definitely think a downside to this is if it goes well, you'll see some real out-of-the-box hires like that when the whole literally real-life situation of when the Browns were trying to find out leakers in their team and use Condoleezza Rice as a head coaching candidate. I think there will be a situation, if this succeeds, where there will be a Condoleezza Rice type head coach in this league by some team desperate to make a flash in the pan, and it will end up terribly. So we'll see.
That's a good point you bring up, Jack. I just, and then some people say this is disrespect to the coaching world. I don't think it's disrespect to the coaching world. The owners can do what they want, guys. This is a news flash here for those that are not aware. The owners run the league. The owners own the team. They can hire who they want. So, Jim Irsay, I respect it. And again, the out-of-the-box hire, this is not an out-of-the-box hire to me. This is not. Okay, he was coaching high school football. He was doing ESPN. I get it. I get all that. But this is not a run-of-the-mill player. Again, there's a couple of different kinds of players. He is not the guy who sat in the back of the meeting and you know, just messing around. He is dialed. Decade plus of football, Packers, Colts. I mean, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers. This is a different center, the smartest position in football other than quarterback. This is a different cat. This is the different cat. So props to him. Props to the Colts. Props to our friends at Fudge Kitchen, fudgekitchens.com. Under the bus, Jack. No one to throw under the bus this week. Anybody for you? Brought to you by me and Michi. The best. Oh, my God. I can't wait to go this week again. My wife and I always plan out our trips. The best food, Italian food in the Charlotte area. Check them out, guys, up in Mooresville, about 20 minutes from the city. Me and Michi. Check them out on social media. The freaking Utica greens, the meatballs, the chicken parm. The salads are fresh. The salad dressings are all made homemade. The salads are unbelievably fresh and so freaking good. The rolls are made in-house. They have an unbelievable lunch menu, too. Their brunch is packed on the weekends. Check out me and Michi. They sponsor Under the Bus, but we're not throwing anybody under the bus. Jack,
I think we're good. Well, we'll do. We talked about it earlier in the show, but I have enough probable cause to move forward with it. So we're going to take it back to hometown, Horsham, Pennsylvania, for the last 80, 90 years. There's been a long-standing tradition of the Thanksgiving football game. It was always a big thing across all of Pennsylvania over the 2000s. I mean, there's Penn Ridge, and I think it's Central Buck South is who they always play. There's a Quakertown. It's Quakertown. Q-Town, that's right. But there have been all of them, and over the years, they've slowly dwindled out. And this year, it seems as if my team, the Happer Horsham, kind of cut the axe on theirs, which is such a shame to see. I mean, for so many seniors, I mean, like myself, that weren't good enough to go on to the next level, it was a final hurrah at the end of the season, go out there and play a real exciting game. Both towns watching, it was kind of a big event, Thanksgiving. Obviously, you got the NFL games, but they would always get canceled if one team made it super far in the playoffs. There wasn't enough time, but there was a very much enough time between these two teams. And I call it when this year's game was canceled. I don't know if it's permanent. I just have a gut feeling if they canceled it, that it is gone for good, which is such a shame to see. I mean, there's a 3-week overlay between your last game and this game, but it's such a fun thing. It's fun for the players. It's fun for the town. It's just something to talk about, watch, and do on Thanksgiving morning before the parades and all that sort of stuff. So that's my little mini rant on something. Probably about 3 people listening to this will even know what I'm talking about.
Well, Jack, it has nothing to do with the 3 people that know about Bucks County football and the great state of Pennsylvania football and Ohio football and all these little small towns that have Thanksgiving football. It's just going to be this is under the bus for a lot of people in college athletics that have moved things up for whatever reason. Stop moving up football. Regular season starts in mid-August. What the heck? It's the week before or the first weekend in September, last weekend in August is when high school football starts. Give the kids a bye week in there, extend the season so Thanksgiving's in play for maybe at least a bye week and then a game, right? Because this is a staple of American football, period. High school football on Thanksgiving is a great tradition. 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. game. People are out there tailgating, having a good time. It's great for the community. It's great for the growth of the game. All the youth kids are on the sideline watching. They're in their jerseys. It's great for high school football. It needs to stop. If I ever have any power whatsoever to say this is going to happen, I will do it. I promise, Jack. Bring back high school football games on Thanksgiving. I don't care. I know everybody's got multiple sports and personal coaches, and they want to get ready for basketball season and all that crap. No. Football season's over on Thanksgiving. People playing the state title. We played the state title in mid-December. Yeah, across the basketball season. If you're going to go to a state title in football, great. Shoot 100 foul shots every day. That doesn't kill your legs. And then go back to playing freaking basketball. But my point is, they need to make it happen, Jack. You're right. Some great traditions, the band, the players, the families. It brings people together. It's good for the community. Make it happen, Captain. I love it. I love it. It's good stuff, Jack. So we touched on the matchups. We talked about Under Bus by me, Michi, the best Italian food in all of the Charlotte area. Bus One brought to you by Fudge Kitchen. The matchups are all brought to you by Wealth Advisory Services. Jack, we pouring some sleep out this week, the best sleep product on the market. You have anything before I get into it though, Jack? Som Sleep, the best sleep drink on the market. Promo code Colin. Check them out. The best sleep product on the market by far. I absolutely love it. It puts me to sleep nice and gently. It keeps me asleep. And then the next step is I wake up and rise and kick some ass the next day, because a lot of that product gets you groggy and you slow the next day. Sleep. That's promo code Colin. Jack, you're going to throw anybody under the bus this week? You already did that, but are you going to pour some out for somebody?
I don't think I got anybody. I've been trying to do some soul searching today. I don't know if I really have anybody I can pour some. I'm sure there's somebody or something I'm not even thinking of. It'll come to me like as the midst of you doing bar of the week.
We're not pouring anything out today. Yeah, we'll pour some out for the people that think it was a horrible decision to sign Jeff Saturday. We'll pour some out for them. I think it's a great decision. This guy's a freaking football lifer. We'll pour some out for the NBA for being a board fest, Jack. No, it's not. It's okay. It's okay, but it's got to be playoffs for me. Jeff Van Gundy's going to be killer. We're going to stop delaying it and get to him in a second here, guys. I'm going to get to the bar of the week. The bar of the week this week on the Colin Thompson Show is Chomp Tank in Annapolis, Maryland. We were there this weekend. It was 70 and sunny in November. The boats were ripping up and down Ego Alley. Beautiful day in the capital of Maryland. It's an awesome place. It's a huge space that was taken over, and it kind of sat vacant for a little bit. And we didn't know what it was going to be. And then boom, Chop Tank went in there. The best orange crushes, the best freaking wings, the Honey Old Bay wings. We used to rate on the show. The Honey Old Bay wings were freaking fantastic. Check them out. Their drinks were fantastic. There's an upstairs level that's beautiful, huge deck. You can see the Bay Bridge. You can see up and down Ego Alley. You can see Eastport. You can see the Naval Academy. The football fields in the distance. It's a really cool spot. All the boats, all the marina life that comes with it. Just a really cool vibe. Upstairs is great. Outdoor dining. There's little fire pits. There's TVs, beautiful bar, high top tables. And then downstairs is a really nice restaurant, TVs, great bar. Just a really cool vibe. Really cool vibe, Jack. You can sit right on the water. It's right in the heart of Annapolis. I think it was the best thing and the perfect thing to be added to Annapolis, in my opinion, a place where Sydney and I now live. So bar of the week this week, guys, is Chop Tank in Annapolis. The TVs are a 4 out of 5. They just added some TVs upstairs that were really nice, really accessible. But again, they're not in the way and too gaudy where you can't see what's going on with the water. So TVs are a 4 out of 5. The food and ambiance really can't be beat. The food is fantastic. The ambiance is fantastic. Guys, the drinks are really good. So a 5 out of 5 for that. The drinks are great. The cocktails, the beers, 4 out of 5 there, and a 4 out of 5 on the service. So a pretty good score, Jack. Pretty good score from our friends over there. We're going to give it a 17 out of 20. Where's my math? Yeah, correct. A 17 out of 20 for Chop Tank in Annapolis, Maryland. My math is correct, Jack. Sometimes it is off. But, hey, guys, we're going to send it over to Jeff Van Gundy. If you're going to a basketball game this year, promo code Colin Thompson, SeatGeek, for $20 off any ticket over $50. Promo code Colin Thompson, COLINTHOMPSON. It's going to help you guys out get a cheaper ticket. And then, guys, our friends at Actions Overwords Apparel, appreciate Alec and their team there, always raising money, an awesome cause. All their apparel they sell goes to the charity of a choice, actionsoverwordsapparel.com. Check them out. What do you got for us, Shaq, as we wrap up? Anything?
I've pretty much run the well dry. Sixers basketball, I got the Bucks on Friday. That'll be a good matchup. Giannis, my weekly or every 2-week trip to a Sixers game this season, so that'll be a good one to check out.
We can pour some out, too, for the haters of Kirk Cousins. We can pour some out to the haters of Aaron Rodgers. There's a lot to be for that in that department, too. I just would stop poking bears, guys. People poke the bear. You poking Tom Brady's bear, boom, that's what happens. You're poking the bear of Aaron Rodgers, okay, Walazi. And then now you're poking the bear of Kirk Cousins that people love poking, but that team's legit. He's legit and fun to watch. Awesome catch by Justin Jefferson. I digress. Jeff Van Gundy, legendary basketball coach, basketball lifer with some awesome stories about life and basketball. We'll send it over to him. Appreciate everybody's support here, Not For Long Media and the Colin Thompson Show.